Welcome everyone back to another video. Today is the first step in getting the Subaru fixed up, which is doing valve cover gasket. And while we're doing the valve cover gaskets, we might as well also change out the spark plugs because I have no idea how old the ones in there are, and install some new IAG billet half moon cam seals. So unlike most 4-cylinder cars out there where the valve cover is on the top and the valve cover gasket can be changed very easily, on a Subaru that has a boxer engine, it's on the side. Not only is it kind of a pain to reach down here and get to the valve covers and the spark plugs and stuff, but there's two of them. So you've got to do this side and you've got to do that side. So what that means is doing the valve cover gaskets on this car means you got to put all of that in it. So valve cover gasket for the left, gasket for the right, and then a whole bunch of other various gaskets here, which we'll figure out where they go. And then the spark plugs we've got here are Denso IK20s, just pretty standard iridium spark plugs. I have no idea how much mileage the old spark plugs have, and I don't even know if they're OEM or not. So while we're working with all this, since the spark plugs are going to be accessible, we might as well swap them. Right, let's go ahead and get to work. Well, the valve cover is out, and it actually makes sense now why it's been leaking, because look at that. It's broken here, right where it was leaking onto my exhaust manifold. So that's good. The problem is very apparent. One bad thing though, this hose is broken. Since this is out now, check out how absolutely filthy it is on this side. This is gonna need some cleaning before it goes back in. I mean, look what it did to my hand. Yeah, this gasket is super flat. Yeah, no wonder it was leaking. Oh, and very brittle. Yeah, that makes sense for an engine with close to 180,000 on it. Yeah, look at that. Look at how brittle that is. Just broke right in half. Yeah, that gasket's not looking that good either. Wow, look at all that dirt coming off. And check out the difference. These are the old ones, and yeah, they're not looking too good anymore. In fact, I just broke it in half. But the new one, yeah, that is a big difference. And then this gasket as well that goes between this piece and the main body of the valve cover. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, that's not supposed to happen. What does a new one look like? I can make little waves with it. No wonder this thing was leaking so much oil. This valve cover gasket was done a long time ago, along with a lot of the other gaskets on that engine, probably. So before we reinstall the valve cover, we're going to install these new cam cover half moons. So these stock ones are made of plastic and rubber, and these IAG ones are aluminum. So these are going to last a lot longer than these. These are probably going to last the lifetime of the engine, and ideally they'll seal better. So let's install these, and then we'll get the valve cover back on. So there's the bottom one, and behind the top cam is the top one. And while I was putting these in, I realized since this is the most clearance I'll ever have in here, I might as well swap the spark plugs now before I put the valve cover back on. While I'm taking the spark plug out, all of a sudden it started to tighten up a little bit again. Not a good sign, so I'll see if I can drive it back in, and then out again, and then in, and out again, and in, and out again, until it comes out. So maybe these spark plugs were changed and they were cross-threaded. I mean, hopefully not the case, but I won't know for sure until I can take them out. So spark plugs are being very annoying to remove right now. Not 100% sure what's going on. It is delaying this, so what I'm going to do is just carry on with the valve cover gasket install. We're going to put the valve cover gasket back on, do the other side, and then we'll do the spark plugs last. I mean, look at this. That is terrible. Valve cover is installed. I just shot some brake cleaner down onto the exhaust manifold, and look at all of that. All of that is oil that was dripping onto it from the valve cover gasket. So this took me in total an hour, maybe 2 hours. Now I get to do it again. And this O-ring is especially bad. Look at this. So this is what it's supposed to look like, and this is what this one looks like. I'm about to, yeah, it's just falling apart, like most of the other gaskets I've been working with today. And there it is. The valve cover on the driver's side has been reinstalled. Now there's a few finishing touches that I need to do. For example, here on the left side, there is no hose that connects these two ports because that hose, like all the other ones, super hard and just broke. Yeah, that's not looking too good. And it's the same thing on the right side. I need a hose that connects this port down here. But the good news is that I got the spark plugs out. So this is what the spark plug looks like. As you can see, not brilliant, but works well enough so the car doesn't misfire. Now I was going to install these new spark plugs, but check this out. They're not the same. The threads on this one are a little bit shorter, and this spark plug as a whole looks a little bit shorter than this one. So this doesn't seem to be the correct spark plug for this car. Not sure what happened, because when I ordered these, they did say it was for 2002 to 2014 or something WRX. So not sure why the spark plugs don't look the same. No matter, I'll run to the parts store, get spark plugs for this car, and then throw them in. But even though this car is not fully put back together yet, the main piece of the puzzle that I wanted to get done today, the valve cover gaskets, are done. I don't have to worry about those anymore, and I can carry on with everything else I need to do. So once I finish these little finishing touches with the hoses and the spark plugs, the next project I have to do with this car is to rewire all of my gauges, which I will be sharing with you very soon. Thank you all very much for your time today and joining me for another video on the WRX Wagon. Many more videos to come, of course, because there's many more things that I need to do with this car. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.